Hi everyone, welcome to the video. My name is Maestro. Let's talk football. So Chelsea have just drawn against Fulham 0-0 officially. Just finished about 10-15 minutes ago, and I thought I'd just like to give my quick thoughts and opinion on the match, because as we all know, this has kind of been a match we've all been looking forward to, not just the Chelsea fans but football neutrals and just football fans alike. Essentially because we all know how ridiculous their transfer window has just been. They are essentially what we thought would be a completely different team, completely different dimension, a completely different way of playing, you'd think, with these kind of players. And I myself, and I'm sure many people shared this, really wanted to see how that would play out. Even if it's just the first game, we just kind of want to see a glimpse. And with Enzo, with Mudryk, with Mudueka, is that how you say his name? It probably isn't, I apologize, and a few others. But yeah, if I just give my quick thoughts. So on the game itself, boring game. Not the most fun game of all time. But I thought Fulham did well, good draw, good performance, defensively very good. I thought Chelsea also were defensively very good. They didn't really have a sniff for them. There was one time where Willian got on the counter, but ultimately nothing too dangerous. I think so. Yeah, both teams I thought defensively were pretty much as good as you'd want them to be. Their attack, in terms of Fulham, couldn't really get into the game. Fulham couldn't really find. I mean, in the first half, there were glimpses of a potential offensive threat, but that kind of completely withered away. First of all, in the first half, they did at times control the ball, but it wasn't purposefully, they weren't controlling the ball with any purpose, essentially. And ultimately, I felt like there was just never any threat from them. But the same went for Chelsea. In the first half, there was just no threat. The game itself, as a whole, so the first half was pretty even. Second half, Chelsea were just trying to find a way to knock him down. They just couldn't. And it was just really, really flat. Ultimately, not much to be said, but a boring game. What is to be said is why we're here, why we're watching this game, why I'm talking about this video is the debutants. The debutants? Is that how you say it? I don't know. Anyway, let's start with Enzo. I liked him. I did. I thought at the start of the second half, he was a bit shaky. His passes, specifically, they were off. Few were off target, kind of giving away the ball, but ultimately as a whole I thought he was actually pretty great. I mean, if you can see here, he was the highest rated player in Chelsea, and third highest rated player in the match as a whole. Well, fourth actually, it's just so Willian. But yeah, I thought Enzo was really good. I actually really liked him, but we'll talk more about him in a sec. Mudryk couldn't get into the game, couldn't. He kind of got closed down by Tete, but also I don't feel like Chelsea played in a way that suited him. He always had to come deep to get in the ball, and whenever he tried something, he was always in like I said before, he was just far too deep to do anything of any significance. Madueke, I thought was good. I liked him. Direct, he was quick, fast. I like his passing, his dribbling is pretty good. But not much to be said, really. It was the whole team as a whole. And I'll speak in a bit why I feel like there's not much to be said. The other subs, anyone new that came on? Fofana, yes, the new guy. Nothing to be said. I have nothing to say about him. Didn't really see much. I don't think he was bad, but I don't think he was great either. It was just okay. I do want to talk more about Badiashile. I know he isn't new. Well, he is new, but he didn't join just last week. He joined quite a few weeks ago, and ultimately it's a great performance again. I really like him alongside Silva, and I've got to say, maybe it's a mistake to not bring him into the Champions League, because if you don't know, Chelsea only had 3 slots in the Champions League that they could name in, and those names are Enzo Fernandez, Mudryk, and João Felix, meaning Badiashile will not be going into any Champions League matches. So, I mean, they have Wesley Fofana, they have Koulibaly, so that's not an issue. Maybe that's what Graham Potter is thinking, that there are more replacements for Badiashile as opposed to Mudryk. But, it's not a big deal. So that's my quick opinions on the debutants and the game itself. The issues of Chelsea. Let's be real, I'm not here to talk about Fulham. I'm here to talk about Chelsea. What were the issues? Why they end 0-0? Why were they so flat? They were so flat for the same reason why they've been so flat and so bad for the rest of the season. That's Kai Havertz, it's Mason Mount, and most importantly, that's Conor Gallagher. Don't let this rating right here is 7. It's telling us that he had an average to good game. No, he was absolutely dreadful. He Mount was bad, Havertz was bad, Gallagher was an abomination. Everything he did, everything that I felt like he did for the first 75 minutes of the game was for the worst of the team. He was slow, extremely slow, just slow in movement, slow in decision making, in every way, just slow. His passing was off, his dribbling was off, couldn't shoot to save his life. Ultimately, his decision making was the worst. He always chose the wrong choice, and he always chose the most passive choice too. He was never daring, never willing to just try something to initiate any form of attack. And ultimately, he just, as a whole, the worst player on the pitch for me by a mile. And I genuinely think, well, actually, I'll talk about what I'm about to talk about later. Havertz. He's not a big issue. I mean, when João Felix comes back, I don't think Graham Potter should play Havertz ever again. Come on as a sub, maybe, in cup games, but just once João Felix is back, I think put Havertz in the save. He's not good enough of a finisher to be a striker, and not good enough of a passer, dribbler, or playmaker to be a midfielder, or the in between. He has a bit of he has a bit of everything, but not enough of anything. Yeah, I think that's put the best. He has a bit of everything, but not enough of anything. So ultimately, once again today, I mean, he had a very good chance in the first half that he really should have scored. He chipped over the goalie and essentially was off target, hit the post. He had all the time in the world and he hit the post. It's just one chance, but in a team like Chelsea, for what they want to strive to achieve, you need to take these chances, and he didn't. Bad habits. Mount, unlike Gallagher, Mount was quick to take action, to try something, to initiate some form of attack. He just kept failing. His passing was off, his shooting was off, his dribbling was off, his positioning was poor too. And ultimately, everything he tried to do just didn't come off. So those are the 3 main reasons why I think they lost. It's those 3 players that have been at this team for, Gallagher just joined actually, didn't he, last season, but it's those 3 players that have been playing poor all season, continue to play poor in this game, that ultimately I thought brought this team down. Now, in terms of how to fix this, I do want to say right now, as bad as Havertz and Mount were, I think if you take out Gallagher and you put in a player like Kovacic or a Kante alongside Enzo Fernandez, I think they win this game. I think they control that midfield, ultimately leading their playmaking and their chance making to go up by quite a lot, to the point where they will make enough chances for Havertz or for anyone to get on the end on to score. Football is simple. At times, most of the time, I feel like whoever wins the game is whoever controls the midfield. And with Enzo, with how well he played, I thought, and how good he just generally is, if you have Kante in there, Kovacic, instead of Gallagher, who is just the opposite of Kante and Kovacic, you have something special there. And I feel like they would have dominated that midfield, Fulham's midfield. And ultimately, that one change, I feel like, would have taken us 0-0 to a 1-2-0. Other changes, like, it's a simple change for Havertz. This is not a big deal. João Felix, he will come back. You play him. That's simple. You play João Felix. Mason Mount, you can make him work. He's a fixer-upper. He's a good player. He's just maybe for me personally as an Arsenal fan, seeing what Arteta has done to many of our players and how he's kind of revitalized them, it's kind of stuck with me to the point where I just feel like no one is beyond repair, especially like a player like Mason Mount. He has talent. And in terms of replacements, you could play a Kovacic, Kante, Fernandes midfield, but I don't know. I think that's a bit too passive. I'd still want kind of daring offensive midfielder. But even, if you want to keep Mount, I think that can still work. I just think if Gallagher was to be replaced by one of the injured players like Kovacic or Kante, would solve so much, and João Felix or Havertz would solve a lot too. Not as much as Gallagher, but it would solve their issue, because Havertz is an issue. He's not good enough as a striker, midfielder, centre forward, whatever. He's not good enough. But João Felix is, and he can fill that role and do so much more. So yeah, I mean, with that, I think the potential for this team, you play this back four, which by the way, maybe I do want to talk about Cucurella. Maybe Chilwell should be starting. He just came back, I believe, but maybe I think Potter should kind of give Chilwell a run of 5 to 6 games and just see how that plays out. Reece James just came back. He played bad, but just came back, and Reece James is one of the best fullbacks in the league. So he'll be fine. And Thiago Silva is Thiago Silva. I mean, I've spoken about this many times before on this channel. Thiago Silva for me is the best defender in the world. I'll say that with my chest. He is just amazing. Badiashile was great today too, and I'm sure Fofana or Koulibaly could also do a job there. Maybe not Koulibaly, hasn't been that good, but Badiashile, he's great. And in the Champions League, if Fofana comes back, I think he can do a job there too. So you stick with that back four. You take out Gallagher and you throw him in the freaking bin, and you put Kovacic or Kante. You leave Mount there alongside Fernandes, who once again I want to say I'm very impressed with. Modric on the left, who hopefully will develop. He played terrible today, but I mean, he's young. He just joined. Give him more time. I think Potter needs to do a better job of helping the team kind of get him involved. But yeah, so you keep that. You put João Felix in the middle. Now, in terms of who's on the right, I think you go with Madueke. I don't know how to say his name. Madueke, this guy right here. I think you go with him. Put him on the right. And I've always thought of Ziyech as a weapon to bring on. That cross he has where he comes here. I mean, I look at my cursor, like he's got the ball here, or here I should say. This is the goal. He comes here, takes it, cuts to his left foot, and brings in almost always, a perfect cross into the box. I feel like that could be used as a very much lethal sub weapon. So, but in terms of starting, I would want Madueke to start instead of Ziyech. And I think right then and there, you have a team with the potential to climb up the table. In terms of how far, I don't know. They'll still need to kind of find a way to sink, gel. They'll need time, of course. But they'll be significantly better than whatever this was. And I think it is the way forward for this team, because you're not just doing it for you're not playing these players because it's the best for now, but also it's the best for the future. Modric will continue to develop. Fernandes, he's young, he'll develop even more and more. So will Mount, so will Madueke, and Badiashile, Reece James, these young players who not only are they the best choice, I feel like, to start for Chelsea, but they are youngsters that can continue to develop and get better and better. So, yeah, listen, people will clown on Chelsea for spending that much money and drawing their first game 0-0, but me, myself, as an Arsenal fan, I just, before an Arsenal fan, I'm a football fan. I look at football as objectively as I can. And I just think that there is potential in the side, especially in the midfield. I feel like Fernandes alongside a Kante or Kovacic would be fantastic. I mean, I'm actually interested to see how that would look like, how dangerous that could be for the opposition. But yeah, like I said, the potential of this team, I think, is there. I feel like I can see it, and I feel like Potter can too. But Potter needs to do a better job of getting Modric more involved. Coaching Mount, he needs to improve him, work on his everything. You know, I mean, he has. I think he has the right mind. He's just too. What's the word? He's too scrappy. He's too soft around the edges. He's not sharp at all. And I think you just work on these little things. Work on his passing, his shooting, his dribbling, his decision making. I think you have a player there that's worthy of starting for a side that wants to get top 4. So with that being said, that's my take on Chelsea, and I think the potential is definitely there. I think this match was, of course, boring, but once again, the potential is there for something special. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that, you know, if Modric was just a waste of money, or do you think this is just a one-off for Fernandes? Was he good? Was he bad? If he was good, how good? If he was bad, just let me know why. Gallagher, Havertz, and Mount. What's your opinion on those 3? I think Gallagher you throw away, Havertz you put on the bench, Mount you continue to develop and put him in the team. Just coach him. Also, Cucurella, should he be benched for Chilwell? I think he should. I think Chilwell should get a starting streak, going on, and I think I'd put Madueke on for Ziyech and kind of go from there. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Sorry for that stutter. Really appreciate your time for watching this video. It means so much to me. Please take care of yourself. Please have a great day. Please like if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.